Our next guest made his debut on The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson 40 years ago. You could see him weekly at the Yakov Theater in Branson, Missouri, where he has entertained 6 million people over the past 32 years. From Russia, please welcome back to The Tonight Show studio, the legend, Yakov Smirnoff!
Thank you. Hi. Hi, my name is Yakov Smirnoff. As you know, I'm originally from Russia. Thank you very much. But I'm an American now. Yeah. It is great to be an American. Only in America can pizza get to your house faster than the ambulance can. Only in America, lemonade is made with artificial flavoring and dish soap made with real lemons. Only in America, you walk into a bank and you see a vault door open and they chain down a pen. Only in America, every football game starts with them flipping a quarter. And then for the rest of the game, the whole crowd screams, "Get the quarter back." Well, only in America would the word politics describe the process so well. Poly in Latin means many, and ticks means blood-sucking parasite. A little bit about myself. I grew up in the Soviet Union, very humble beginnings. My parents and I lived in a communal apartment. 9 families lived in one apartment. My mom, my dad, and I shared the bedroom till I was 26 years old. And it wasn't because I was a millennial. Everybody lived like that. So when I was a little kid, my parents wanted to be romantic. They would send me to look out the window. And then my dad would say, "So what do you see in the window?" I said, "Our neighbor's being romantic." He said, "How can you tell?" I said, "Because their son is looking at me." I was the only child because we had only one window. And I lived with funny people. I remember as I was getting older, I asked my mom, where did people come from? And she said, well, there was Adam and Eve, and they had a baby, and people multiplied. And then I go to my dad, and I said, where did people come from? And he said, well, they were monkeys. Monkeys evolved. That's how we got people. And that evening, we're having dinner, and I said, Mom, how come you say there was Adam and Eve, and Dad says that there were monkeys? And my mom said, I was talking about my side of the family. Your dad is still a hairy ape. And my dad would laugh. And even if they were arguing about something, you know, my dad had a great sense of humor. He knew what to do. One time, she talked to him. He walked into a bedroom. He had this tray in his hand. On the tray, there's a tall glass of water, small bottle of aspirin. And my mom saw it and said, what are you doing? I don't have a headache. My dad said, that's all I wanted to hear. Yakov, go look out the window. So when we came to America, I married an American woman, and we had 2 wonderful kids, Natasha and Alexander. It took us a while to figure out their names, because when our daughter was born, my wife wanted a real American name for her, Brandy. And I said, Brandy Smirnoff? Why don't we just send her to rehab daycare center so she can play with Jim Beam and Johnny Walker? And when we have a son, let's call him Kalua. Kalua Smirnoff. So when we get together, we're going to have a white Russian. I was ordering a birthday cake for my wife, and I called the baker and I said, "Can you make a cake for about 12 people?" And she said, "What do you want to put on it?" I said, "Well, just put Happy Birthday, Olivia." And she said, "Well, it's a pretty big size cake. Is there anything else you want to add to it?" And I said, "Well, you know what? I didn't think about this, but let's see. Let's say you're not getting older on the top, and then say you're just getting better on the bottom." And I come home, my wife is laughing. She's going, "I can't serve this cake." I'm reading, and the baker did exactly what I said. She said, "Happy birthday, Olivia. You're not getting older on the top. You're just getting better on the bottom." We did not serve that cake. But we were laughing, and makes me realize that because we're happy. And this is something that I came to America for, because in America, every citizen has inalienable right to life, liberty, and what? And free online shipping. But it's the pursuit of happiness that makes this country so unique. And I made the right choice, because I could have gone to other country. Let's say you go to Italy. You cannot become Italian. And you can go to France. Cannot become a Frenchman. But you can come to America and become an American. And I want to thank you for making me feel at home. God bless you. I'm Yakov Smirnoff. Good night.
Are you kidding me? That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. Yakov Smirnoff. See him in Branson, Missouri at the Yakov Theater. We'll be right back, everybody. Come on back.